people, stay dandy, baby. I've read a lot of comic books, I've watched a lot of movies, I've watched a lot of anime, read a lot of manga, and I've seen some really unique superpowers. Super flight, super strength, invisibility, being able to transform into some sort of giant monster, firing beams from your eyes. All of these things are really awesome. But one of my favorite things about My Hero Academia is how they have some of the most unique and ridiculous superpowers that I have ever seen. Some of them are very standard. A lot of the ones that we see in the latest batch of episodes of My Hero Academia are completely and wholly unique. They're not only fun to watch, they can be funny. They can be creepy, they can be surprising. And that's really what these episodes were all about as we go to the next round of the competition between classes A and B. And this is some really exciting material. I was really excited for these episodes because it was going to feature the return of one of my favorite characters from the series, Fumikage Tokiyomi. This guy is just so cool. He's got one of the most awesome designs from the entire series, which borders on absolute ridiculousness just for the fact that he's a teenage boy with a crow for a head, but his ability to be able to control this dark entity, the Dark Shadow itself, has always been, in my opinion, one of the coolest abilities in the entire series. And yet, he is joined by his team of ridiculous characters that are just as unique as they go up against Class B, which has powers which border on the absolute of insanity. There are some things that happen in these episodes that are fantastic, so let's go ahead and talk about some of the best moments here. So again, this is the next part of the competition, A versus B, and we have some pretty interesting dynamics going on here. I already mentioned Fumikage, but they're also going to be joined by Momo, a character who's been very fan favorite for a lot of people, and she's grown tremendously since her introduction in the series, and she's sort of the brains of the operation in this entire battle. She always comes up with some really great strategies, and she certainly has some fantastic moments here. But then you also have characters like Yuga, who has the ability to fire a laser beam from his belly button. Now, Yuga is a character who initially I just did not like at all, but over time he certainly has grown on me, and he's ended up becoming, I think, one of the funniest characters of the entire series. But I was also very happy to see that we finally had some really solid moments for Hagakure, who is essentially the invisible girl of the group. Now, having invisibility powers has never been anything super special for superpowers, superheroes, types of stuff that I've seen before, but the fact that we finally got to see her doing something is really important in this episode. She has a bubbly, super fun personality, but for the most part, just like her powers, she's always sort of blended into the background, but we got to see her doing some really great things. And while everybody here was really great getting to see the evolution of their powers, especially Fumikage, especially going into some backstory of some of the stuff that he learned when he was training with Hawks, I think it's Class B that really ends up stealing the show here. I mean, we do have some familiar characters here, such as Kendo, who has always been unique in the sense that she's always reminded me of Ms. Marvel from the Marvel comic book series, where she's able to enlarge her hands, and she's basically an expert fighter, and she's really cool. But it's all of the other teammates that join her in this battle that are just ridiculous in terms of what their abilities are. So the first one is Kuroiro. I think that's how it's actually pronounced. He has got a really striking design where his entire skin is completely pitch black. All you can really see is his teeth and his eyes, and his unique ability allows him to essentially like hide into any sort of like shadow, and that gives him a lot of like really great things to do in this battle, because he can go into all of these dark places and really mess with people, but he can also inherently take over Fumikage's Dark Shadow, because it itself is a giant shadow entity, and he's been training himself to actually like wait for this moment so that he could take charge of the Dark Shadow. And this is great because, as they say, there's like this really intense rivalry between these characters, and we really get to see it come to a head in this episode right here. And the way that they animate him moving around the shadows and all of like these this giant factory setting with all these pipes is really great. The camera movement, the animation, and the art direction really lends itself to like all of these amazing fights that are actually taking place here. But the other teammates are just as crazy. One of them is this girl who is, her name escapes me at the moment, I think it's Kinoko, but essentially she uses mushrooms. That's kind of her entire ability. She can summon mushrooms from anywhere. She can place them on people's bodies. She can put them into people's bodies. And basically, she can just continuously grow them from a number of different ways. And that makes her surprisingly terrifying and dangerous at the same time. Dangerous in the sense that she can really slow people down with being like weighing them down with all these mushrooms. But even more dangerous when she can actually plant one inside of your body, which makes her so freaking terrifying. And it essentially destroys all of Hagakure's abilities, because while she is invisible, she has mushrooms all over her, so now she just looks like a giant walking humanoid mushroom forest, and it's just insane. And Kinoko is really creepy. Like, she comes across as kind of cute, but mostly she's pretty fucking horrifying. I have to be perfectly honest. All of these close-up shots that they have of her are just really damn freaky. But the one character who surprises me the most and definitely gets the least amount of screen time here, I think maybe has one of the most unique looks and abilities of anything that I've ever seen, is a character who goes by the name of Fukidashi. Fukidashi is a living comic book. And that's not just like, you know, what his powers are, it's what he looks like. Like, his actual face is a literal comic book word bubble. And his abilities essentially allow him to materialize comic book text. And they can also have like distinctive abilities attached to them. So essentially he can just crush you with like giant comic book letters, which is ridiculous to say out loud, looks hilariously awesome in motion. But like I said, he can also apply like abilities to these. So like when Kinoko is using her mushrooms, he can say humidify, humidify, and the letters will come out, but they'll also have the ability to start like spreading all like this mist everywhere, which amplifies her abilities as well. He's essentially the ultimate companion superhero. And again, his head is a freaking comic book word bubble. That shit's insane. The only thing I can possibly compare it to is like a character from Naruto or One Piece. In Naruto, there's a character whose name is Sai, who has the ability to draw things and bring them to life. And then you have a character in One Piece whose name is Kanjuro, who basically does the same thing. But they don't have comic book word bubbles for faces. Anywho, getting back on track here, there's a number of really great moments here, and a lot of them mostly focus on the characters of Fumikage and Momo. So, Fumikage has been training with Hawks. We saw that in the past, and we get to go a little bit into their backstory of what he was learning from him, which essentially is learning not to be just like an errand boy, but actually learning how to have a little more faith in himself and how to use his abilities, and the fact that he can utilize Dark Shadow to literally fly around, because Dark Shadow is always sort of floating anyway, and he's able to create like this brand new ability, which I think they call the Dark Fallen Angel, which is so metal. But this gives him the ability to chase down Kururoi when he ends up taking Yuga, and this scene is great because when he actually takes him and starts to run away with him, Yuga's screaming like a little bitch, and it made me want to spit the drink out of my mouth that I was having. Yuga's screams are hilarious and piss your pants inducing, I'm sorry. But Fumikage using this ability to fly around and eventually capture him was great. And it looks like they had like the big advantage in this battle. That is until Kanoko starts using her mushroom abilities, and essentially this was all a part of Kendo's secret plan. Initially, they were going to try and use Kururoi's abilities, but they knew if they failed, they would have to have some sort of backup. And essentially that was using Kanoko's ability to mushroom everybody and to trap Momo in a singular space so that Kendo could throw down with her. And that's because there's this intense rivalry between these two characters, with Kendo really wanting to prove herself and show that she's just as capable of taking her down. And this, of course, leads to a really great scene of these two throwing down with one another, where initially it looks like Kendo really has the big advantage in this battle, just for the fact that, one, she's got the giant fists of fury, and they can bust through just about anything that Momo can create. And considering that she realizes she's constantly having to create things, this is going to leave her wide open. But again, Momo has been learning from her training as well, and she was basically using this time when she was using these tungsten shields that Kendo was completely destroying with her bare fists to slowly but surely build up and create a giant cannon, which initially I thought was just going to be an over-the-top ridiculous weapon, which I thought was maybe too over-the-top, because if Kendo got hit by this thing with a real cannonball, well, the big-fisted girl would be dead. But apparently this was another plan. She shot out this little bag, which shot out into the middle of the arena, and Fumikage was able to grab onto it. And it has these goofy letters on it, which is basically Momo's lucky bag. And apparently it has this item in it, which are these thermal goggles, which gives Fumikage the ability to track down the other people and try and take them down. And it's really awesome. He even gets to use another ability where he continues to cover his body with Dark Shadow, which looks so damn cool. And it really looks like that they're going to win here. when suddenly we get a nice twist. We get to see when it looks like Class B is actually about to lose, we suddenly see that Kanoko is the one who actually ends up giving them the edge in battle as she plants one of these mushrooms inside of Fumikage's throat, which causes him to give up, fall over, lose his abilities, and we even get to see that Kendo managed to survive her battle with Momo. However, Momo still managed to trick her a little bit by combining herself with the giant cannon and a bunch of rope to tie herself to Kendo to try and slow her down, but still that didn't stop her. She manages to capture Hagakure, which is just insane, and Class B gets their very first victory! So what's the rundown on both of these episodes of My Hero Academia? Man, there was a lot of stuff going on in these episodes, but there was a lot of really great moments. Again, Fumikage is one of my favorite characters, so I loved getting to spend more time with him and see the growth of his abilities. And same goes for Momo as well. But there are some surprise things in this episode that I really liked. And my two standouts from both of these episodes, which is what surprises me the most, was the brand new character Fukidashi, the comic man guy, which I just thought was really funny and unique, and the fact that he was effectively defeated by Hagakure, which is one of the biggest moments for her in the entire series, as she rarely gets so many of them. A lot of that is owed to the fact that she is invisible, and you don't really get to see her all that much, but getting to see her go all martial arts on him and kick his ass was really satisfying to see, and it was just weird getting to watch this invisible girl beat up this guy who has word bubbles for a head. Just describing it out loud is like a fever dream. But surprisingly, I think the best thing about both of these episodes is how between 8 different characters, every single one got development and something really cool to do. I think the only odd man out might have been Yuga, because most of the episode was him getting captured by Kuroi and screaming, but even he got some pretty cool moments when Fumikage was flying around and ordered him to use like his belly button laser to light up the place. Everybody really did get their moment here, especially the Class B students, who practically got no screen time in any of the previous seasons aside from a few major characters, but here they're doing a great job of building appreciation for them and showing how unique they truly are. I'm just really loving the overall uniqueness of all of these battles. They've just got me so damned excited, and I really love that they're not rushing through them. I like the fact that each one is sort of getting like 2 episodes devoted to it, so that it does feel more important. It has a lot more weight behind it. We really get to see how strong these students have become and how they've changed. It would be nice if we had more time to spend, more with these characters, but again, this is a series which is all about its massive cast here. They all can't have their very own devoted arc, but everything that we're getting right here, I'm just soaking it in and enjoying every moment of it. I just loved everything about both of these episodes so much. And again, I think the biggest surprise is that I love every character. I can't say that about a lot of anime that I watch. Like, there's some where I only like a select amount of characters or certain ones only, and some just really piss me off. Everyone is interesting in this show. I'm just so excited to spend time with every single one of them and to see their unique abilities, their characteristics, and production value-wise, it still continues to look pretty solid across the board. Nothing super groundbreaking, but all of the action scenes are so well choreographed, have some really interesting artwork attached to them, and really solid moments. Lots of speed, lots of color, lots of great voice acting. This is just exciting material, and I absolutely love it. I'm really enjoying this season so far. It might not have the high stakes of the previous season or even some of the other major arcs involving like the League of Villains, but it's great just to see these characters be students. That's what the entire show is all about after all. It's My Hero Academia. It's about these young kids learning to become superheroes, and you forget that a lot when you look at sort of the grander scheme of the series and where it's actually headed. This is about their education of learning what it means to be superheroes, to work with people, and to better themselves. And this is the arc that might be exemplifying it the best of the entire series. It looks really solid, it's really fun to watch, and I just love it. It's really as simple as that. I loved both of these episodes. I'm going to give them a 5 out of 5. I have no real complaints with the episodes. I'm getting nothing but pure joy and entertainment value from both of them. But your thoughts may differ. You might not like these episodes as much as I'm enjoying them, and you can sound off in the comment section below and tell me why or why not, and what you really liked about all of these episodes. Any favorite character moments, favorite character? What do you hope to see from the continuing competition between Class A and Class B? Ultimately, which class is going to come out on top? Sound off comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. Please subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. If you did like this video, smash the like button, plus ultra the hell out of it. It helps these videos out so much and it ensures that more people can see my content, my reviews, my discussions, all that good stuff. I'd also like to take this time to thank all of my patrons. You guys are the ultimate superheroes of Ace Guru by making those monthly donations. And man, I just can't thank you guys enough for that. It really does mean a lot. Remember, first-time donators, I'll review an anime series of your choosing, so please make sure to do that. I also love to add your name to this list of super amazing people that you currently see on screen, the super-powered super producers of Ace Guru. So thank you guys so much for watching this review. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay dandy, baby.